Halo Reach was played and recorded on the Xbox One X. So first off, I will start off with the story. The story centers around a team called Noble Team. The main characters consist of you, Catherine, Carter, June, Emil, and George. Halo Reach tells the story of the fall of Reach. Most of the story is about you and Noble Team trying to stop the Covenant forces from taking over Reach. And towards the end, you are given the task of protecting a very important asset, which leads directly into the game Combat Evolved. I do find this story very interesting because it shows us what happened before Master Chief became who he became. It also shows us how Cortana came to be. It was quite an interesting story of the Noble Team, but I wish we got more background information about each character. Otherwise, the story was very well done. The one thing I would have liked it to add to the story is to see the perspective of the Covenant. That's what I loved about Halo 2, was the fact that we saw the war from both sides, and just to see the reactions from the Covenant themselves. So right now I will be talking about the multiplayer aspect of Halo Reach. I only played 2 types of matches in Halo Online. I forget what those things are called, but I will explain what the 2 online matches were. The first one was that you are either the defender or the offense. The defense had to protect their base from the offense getting their bomb to your base. This was pretty fun because they can give you a rush of, oh my god, I have the bomb, I need to get there as soon as possible. The second one was just a normal deathmatch type of game. There was a score limit, and you had to reach that limit before the other team did. Now moving on to the sound. I would like to say that the sound was really well done. I would give the music a perfect 10 out of 10. You know how iconic the Halo soundtrack is, so I don't think I need to explain why the music is so well done. The sound effects sound perfect, and the gunfire sounds exactly how you would think they would sound. The one issue that I would like to bring up is the fact that the aliens do not speak English. Now I know that in the other Halo games, all the aliens speak English, and they always have their funny lines. This game missed that. I don't know the reason why they did this, but I'd much rather them speak English than an alien. With the voice acting, it was very well done, but I do have some minor issues with it. Quite honestly, it's only one issue, but it's pretty major to me. It's the fact that when the characters are in a very echoey kind of area, their voices sound like they're in a sound booth instead of actually in an area where their voices should have had an echo. It takes the immersion out of it for me, and I would just have rather them added a little reverb to their voices. When the characters have their helmets on though, their voices sound perfect, like they're actually wearing a helmet, and that's what it sounds like to me. The music and the voices are very well balanced, and I would also like to say that the music within the gameplay really sets the scene for what kind of game you're playing, and it just makes you feel more tense and excited, which is what you want to feel while playing this game. It also gets quiet in certain parts of the gameplay. For instance, in more stealth missions, or if you're in combat for a while, the music will stop at the perfect time. Now on to graphics. The graphics in this game were pretty impressive. The way that the primary assault rifle looked was perfect. You can see all of the details and the damage on the rifle. Same thing with other weapons, but I just really noticed it on the assault rifle. Another added detail I like about guns is the sniper rifle. The detail that I'm talking about specifically is that when you're holding the sniper rifle and you point your sniper rifle at, let's say, an elite, you can see the night vision outline of the elites, which is a really good detail. I also like that on the rifles and stuff that the ammo gauge on the gun changes as you shoot, which is another really good detail. The reloading animations are very well done as well, and it makes it look like a typical gun being reloaded. I really like the design of the enemies, especially the elites. My favorite type of the design of the elites are the zealots, because they are just so intimidating looking, and it suits that type of character perfectly. The atmosphere of the game and certain maps fits the story perfectly. For one example, I might need to get into a little bit of a spoiler, but hopefully it's not too much of a spoiler. There is one mission where you're in a helicopter and you have to help certain Marines fend off some Covenant. During the mission, the Covenant starts sending in corvettes to start glassing the planet. What really set the atmosphere was how terrible glassing can be. The way they showed this was that the atmosphere is all dark and gloomy, and it's raining. There are some cutscenes, and they are about the same level of graphics as it is in the gameplay. The controls are very simplistic, and because I was playing on the Master Chief Collection, I can specifically change my controls to be like Halo 3, Halo 2, or even Halo 4 type of controls. There wasn't much content-wise. The only real amount of content was customizing your armor and multiplayer. I played on Heroic, and surprisingly it took me only about 8 hours to complete the game. There are no side quests or extra missions, just the campaign. So this is the part of the review I tell you what I liked and what I did not like about a game. I'll first start off with the negatives. My one and only real negative is the progression system. I don't like the progression system because it's the Master Chief Collection, not because it's Halo Reach. You earn these points in the Master Chief Collection through doing challenges in each game. But the problem with this, though, is that you use these points to upgrade your armor in Halo Reach. On the Xbox 360 version of Halo Reach, you purely get upgrades through XP. So the more multiplayer you play, the more upgrades you can get. Same thing with the campaign. The harder the campaign is, the more XP you can receive through each mission. With the way Master Chief Collection is, it's a lot harder to upgrade your armor, and I wish that they would have just left that out of the game. So now in my opinion, there's no real incentive to get as much XP as possible, because that'll just boost your rank and not give you any rewards. There's only two notable positives that I have. Now I'm not saying that there isn't anything good about the game. The game is great. It's just this with the extra details, I can get an extra sense of greatness to this game. What I'm talking about is Firefight. My first question is, why doesn't every single Halo have this game? So with firefights you can play alone or online. I played both, and online firefight is really fun. The main objective is to survive as many rounds as you can, or how many rounds there are. Now the main thing that is really good about firefight is if you do it alone, you can set your own parameters, which this means that in the menu of firefight, you can change many things about firefight, like how much ammo you have, what type of weapons you use, how high you can jump. You can even make yourself a god by having unlimited health, unlimited ammo, and bottomless clip. You can even change the wave types from like wave 1 having just elites, or to just hunters, or you can mix and match all of them. What I love about this is that you can just do whatever you want with it, and just have fun. You can also use it as training for aiming and stuff like that. Another positive I have is about Forge. In Forge you're basically put on a map, and you can make your own type of game. For me, I have never made my own game in Forge, just because it took too much time and I don't have friends to play it with. So what I usually did, or have done, is going into Forge on the Halo ring and just build. Kind of like back in the day of when machinima was still a thing, the video makers would make their own sets and kind of make a video out of that. So I did some of that building and all of that, and it's kind of like Minecraft, but different. This game was a lot of fun, especially playing on Heroic. It made me think of the game in a different way. Usually I play games like this on easy, just so I won't have a hard time. But I found out that the Halo games were built around this difficulty, so I decided to try that, and it made the game so much better for me. And quite honestly, I would most definitely play this game again, just because it has multiplayer, and sometimes I might try and play the story on an even harder level. So this is the part of the review where I give this game my score. I'm going to give Halo Reach an 8 out of 10. I give it this score because the game was really well done, but there are a few things I wish that they would have done differently. For instance, I would have wanted the aliens to speak English, and I would have wanted the progression system to stay the same as the original Halo Reach game. Otherwise, the game was perfect. So that's the end of today's review. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.